race the field into turns 1 and 2. Here comes Casey Rhodes on the top of the number 55. Gonna dive down low. Had to jump in the binders to keep the spin in the 14W winding out. Weinbarger already 3 wide in the middle of the pack in the Superman cars. Casey Rhodes up in the cushion, trying to make something happen with that truck, putting some power on the ground. Dustin Katie, Katie's gonna go over the number 7. Big wreck on lap number 1 down in turn number 4. A light rollover. Hopefully that car isn't damaged too much. You see a lot of movement there in the rear end on the bottom of that race car. Great job, cameraman Alex down there on the slow-mo replay. Fantastic camera work right there. Drake has got to be looking next to him going, wow, what is that kid with the crate motor got? You know, the advantage right now, I'd say from what I've seen so far, the high side has been the faster way around on these track conditions.
All right, race fans, welcome back to the Northwest Dirt News here on Spreaker. My name is Corey Penfold with co-host Josh Warbus. I want to welcome you back to episode number 3 for the 2016 preseason. A lot of stuff going on here in the Moxie Studios here in Albany. A lot of things going on. It's been crazy since just the last week or so, Josh. Everything has hit high gear.
Pretty much everything from the car show.
From the car show on.
It went from the car show to, you know, when you talk about having everything at the last minute come together. From the car show, you know, things were getting, you know, how our last show, we're talking about, hey, we got some upcoming things, can't really talk about right now. Car show happened, and then all of a sudden, boom, everything just kind of came together.
We went from park to
wow,
race,
wow.
right now. So first thing we want to talk about to open the show, kind of something exciting here for us on the show for Northwest Dirt News. New title sponsor for the show. We want to give a shout out to Northwest Truck Driving Academy. These guys have heard our show. They stepped up. They wanted to do something different in racing, they said, instead of just putting their name on a car or advertising at a racetrack. And they heard our show. They got with us, and they stepped up, and they'll be our title sponsor for the 2016 season. So we want to welcome those guys on board to the show here. Awesome people. And if you know somebody that's looking for a career, I mean, this is pretty cool. I didn't know a lot about these truck driving schools, but Dave, the owner, fun guy. I mean, typical truck driver, joke after joke after joke, and just man. fun to hang out with. But he's pretty awesome. But 6 weeks. It's a 6-week course to, that's going to give you a career.
Absolutely.
I think it's right around $5,000. But that's a heck of an investment when you're looking at a future for whether somebody's been hurt on a job that needs to relocate to a new career, or a young guy looking to, to get out, see the world, and get paid to do it and check things out. I mean, $5,000, it's right at $5,000. It's like a little under.
And I'm sure you could probably get it financed. I mean, with everything else, having a CDL, you can go anywhere. I mean, you can travel.
You've got one, Josh.
Yeah, I definitely have to update it, but it's he has a great class. It's right here local, down here in the Albany area. Really funny guy. Ask any questions, whatever, and he's definitely got an answer for everything. I'll give you that.
Oh yeah, I've met some of his staff. He's got a guy that one of his managers there, a guy named Bill. Old Bill, he's in his 70s, but you talk about a character. I mean, he makes Dave look tame. I mean, it's just joke after joke, and you never know what you're going to do with these guys. But I'll tell you, I think they'd be somebody fun to work with as far as something like that. I mean, I've never driven one of the big rigs. I don't really have a desire to, but there's guys doing it in 6 weeks for a little money spent, give you a career. It's a great opportunity.
Well, it pays off in the long run. It pays off, it tenfold, I mean, if that's something that you want to do, having a CDL, driving truck, if that's what you want to do, even stay local, or you can long haul with some of these other companies. You're always looking at the back of, a 53-foot semi-trailer, and, they always say, hey, we're hiring CDL drivers, or, come work for our team, or whatever. That's a good stepping stone. If you like adventure, if you like something that you haven't done before, it's a lot of fun.
Well, and that seems to be with those guys. They've talked about. I hear some of the stories that those guys have accumulated over the road. Over the years they've been driving. Yeah, some of the stuff we can't repeat, but those truck drivers. But I'll tell you some awesome stuff. But those guys there, they help you find a job. once you're done, like Dave and the Northwest Truck Driving Academy, they've got a lot of connections
Lot
to
of
get you
connections.
placed with a job straight out of school. So
Right.
you're not, you don't feel like you're wasting your $5,000 and you're moving on with your career. I mean, they help you get you into an established company and get you in a truck and get you on the road and start, providing for your family. So once again, Northwest Truck Driving Academy, the new title sponsor for the Northwest Dirt News here on
Give 'em a round of
Moxie.
applause. That's
Moxie Radio.
right.
Yeah, it's going to be a good deal. So
It was definitely fun.
want to give
watching
a
coming in.
thanks. Yeah, give a thanks to
During the
those
car
guys.
show, he was like, "So what do I need to do?"
Yeah.
It's like, "What do you want to do?"
Yeah, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
So, and it worked out. It worked out good. So, we want to welcome them on board this year, and hopefully we can keep this relationship continued
Absolutely.
for a few years. And glad to have those guys with us. But you come down from Vancouver. How was the drive in?
Oh man, rain, sun, rain. I don't know if I hit hail or if it was just all of the pollen that's in the air, but the drive wasn't too bad. A little wet, it went from being really, really nice to today kind of crappy, but drive wasn't too bad. It's about an hour and a half, about 89, 100 miles from my place, but it's well worth it. I love coming down here.
Driving
Walking
into the studio here to do the show. I only live 15 miles from here. I've got my wipers on high on I-5, and I can't see anything. I'm thinking, wow, Josh has got to do this for an hour. That poor sap, But I'm glad to hear it was, it was good. Nothing bad.
Well, hey, I got here 15 minutes early. They say if you get, to your job 15 minutes early, you're on time. So I think we did okay.
We did all right, and we kind of scrambled to get some stuff done.
We have one of our Moxie guys and stuff. Sam isn't here yet.
But that's the thing, we're waiting for the assistant producer, Sam Pettit. Sam, if you're listening, we're still waiting for you, bud. So
yeah,
not
turn
too
your
bad.
radio off and get in here. Let's go.
Right. The last, looking at, we had practice this weekend, but let's talk about the weather because something I've been watching. This is the time of year where, as a racer, as an announcer, whatever you're doing on any race team, this is the time of year in Oregon where you spend more time watching the weather than any other time of the year because that first race is coming. What's the weather going to be like? Are we going to rain out? Are we going to get a good show? Practice last week, you couldn't have asked for better weather. I know you guys haven't got your first deal yet up there at Sunset, but Willamette it was spectacular, and I'm hoping 50, on the 16th that we can get that. So when we look at the weather forecast for the 16th, according to weatherchannel.com, I'm assuming this one is
Accurate weather, yeah.
Cold with rain and drizzle, 57% chance of precipitation.
You know what that makes, though?
53 degrees. Well, I'll tell you, anything over 50% in Oregon scares me.
Well, that makes for good racing because if it doesn't and it has that cloud that kind of misses, you get high horsepower, a very fast track. A lot of these drivers and stuff want these tracks, especially, Willamette, all that stuff to go slick. I'll tell you what, it's exciting. Man, I can't wait. It's exciting for these tracks and stuff to go tacky and to go fast.
Well, and it's exciting for the fans. It's exciting for, announcers like us that are in the booth and we're calling the show. You like to see, you like to see that mid 50 degree range. You like to see the gray clouds without the rain. You like to see the moisture in the track where guys like, let's just bring it up right now, John Duty, last year at Willamette Speedway, not only did he break the track record, he absolutely annihilated it on a night like we're talking about.
Yep.
We get that cool weather and the moisture in the track. He was able to use that 900 horsepower. He put it on the ground and turned a 13.081 at the big 1/3 mile.
Crazy fast. Sprint cars, here 5 years ago, that's what the World Outlaws were doing there.
Right.
13 seconds in a
amazing.
World Outlaws, that was fast. And we were talking about, oh my God.
And now you're doing it in a late model. It weighs 1,000 pounds more.
Kidding me?
So I'm hoping we get that first race in. You keep the rain, give us the clouds, give us the cool temperatures. Let's get this thing rolling.
Yeah.
And
bring the blankets, bring the kids.
It's
we
always
got hot coffee, cocoa.
Absolutely, and you love to see. I don't care who you are. It's part of it. We love to see the track records threatened or broke.
Man,
that's for me, and this is why I like to see it. I love qualifying. Two of my favorite parts of the entire race program every week is not just qualifying, but the trophy dashes. But with the qualifying, say somebody does come out and break the track record,
right?
You get to watch a little piece of history.
Right.
It's not something everybody gets to see. That's why I'm always at the track early, whether I'm announcing or not. I want to watch qualifying. I want to see who's doing what. I want to see what kind of times are being laid down.
Right.
And you never know. You might catch that one lap like John did last year that just put everybody on the floor. That's a knockout punch. You're threatening the 12-second bracket on a 1/3 mile. That's
the fastest around here.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's unbelievable.
We're talking about, you guys already had your practice, your test and tune. Half dozen cars of stuff came out. I talked to you a little bit before.
Wait a second. These guys are excited. Let's not. When I left, I was only there for about an hour and a half. When I left Willamette Speedway, there was well over 20 cars and guys still pulling in. So these guys, we saw Koffel on the track, and people that watch Moxie Media on Facebook saw some of the video. Koffel's car I watched pretty close because he was here at the show. Not only did it look nice on the track, but that car isn't far away from being in victory lane. I mean, it already looks like he's done his homework. He talked about it. We talked about the shock packages and the stuff on the interviews. Darren's gone to work, and that car, out of the box, looked really,
he was
really
riding the
good.
cushion. I saw the video and stuff. He was riding the cushion a little bit,
and
riding the bottom.
Right. His car looked good everywhere else. Top to bottom, that car was just working. One of the guys that surprised me, at Willamette Speedway practice, watching them, which is somebody I haven't seen a whole lot in a car. I got to watch him. I was there 2 years ago as the announcer. Wasn't there loud up. Sold the cars. Retired. Norm's been guiding. He's worked with Jeremy Shank on the 30 car. He's done a little something with.
Got a lot of knowledge.
He does. But you look at where Norm is. The old. Him and Virgil Hansen way back in the day, co-champions together in their little Nova they had back in '77. Who stayed in the game, who's watched the cars progress. He understands race cars. He understands what's going on, and you look at and especially with the Swartz cars. There's nobody better, But you look at every Swartz car he's ever touched, be it Tony Brakall, Jeremy Shank, Russ Sell, now Dan Dybel, seeing the benefits of the knowledge out of the head of of Norm. It's exciting to watch that because I've known Norm since I was, knee-high to a short duck.
We raced go-karts together.
Well, yeah, we banged doors with him. But,
the 4 cycles and everything else when they had Owen Racing.
That's right.
Man, I used to sit there and ask him a bunch of questions that if I couldn't figure out, I'd go over there and I'm like, well, I know you guys are more 4-cycle guys. I said, I kind of need a little bit of. He says, check this out. He says, I got a double overhead cam for run on alcohol, blah blah blah. And this, I'm like, holy. And this thing. we ran KT lights, KT heavies, and we ran sedans for the open motors and everything else. And then he goes, that ain't nothing. That's top. He said, you got to have something that has a little bit of tunk to it. And I'm like, the hell. And he'd go out there and we'd be sitting there for practice. And I remember he used to run. He didn't run a bugle pipe or nothing like that. He used to run a straight pipe, run on alcohol. It was so bad. But he'd run additive and stuff to it so it wouldn't smell so bad. But he'd sit there and the concussion of his motors that they used to build were retarded crazy. And and chassis setup wise,
he's a bank. He's a bank of knowledge. He really is a bank of knowledge. But so it was kind of interesting to see. Another guy that really impressed me that we had a chance to talk with extensively was Justin Evans with the Mercury Cougar. Mm-hmm. He told us, hey, look, it's going to be a different deal this year. We're making some changes to the car. And we can't give away what he changed. I promise we wouldn't talk about that, but there was some changes made to that nasty old Coug, and I'll tell you what.
Oh, there isn't much changes.
Oh, yeah, he made some changes, but I'll tell you, that first practice session, it looked like he hadn't been off the track at all. That car was dialed and just, I think that race car for practice looked better than I think I've ever seen that particular car look at Willamette.
I think he's more comfortable this year. I think he's going into this year knowing that he has a chance, knowing that he has a front-running car, knowing that, hey, he's going to be out there, he's going to be, contender for a victory. That's the thing. We have that confidence.
He's a contender at every track. He's just one of those guys that he gets all out of his car, but it looked easy. It just looked easier than it had before. And that old Mercury, I'll tell you, she works pretty good. It doesn't matter where she's at. But
when it looks easy, I guess that's when you can just sit back and relax.
Right.
And just let it come to you.
So, some other things we wanted to talk about on the show today. Practice was great. You guys have got your first practice coming up at Sunset.
A couple weeks, the 9th and the 16th. We actually have 2 practices back-to-back, week to week. Track is looking good. We just had a couple of work days. One was this following Saturday, and the one was the Saturday before that. Did a lot of work, man. I cannot thank the guys that have came out, the safety crew, that came out. Checker Flag Asphalt came out and did a whole bunch of work and stuff for us, made our grandstands a lot better. The area up there so we